Involved in this movie we're going to see tonight. He tells a great story that I'm going to maybe get him to tell you if we have a minute or two. And Shep Morgan, producer on this film. And what I would like to do now, can everybody give a round of applause to Kai over here on my left? Okay. And the person we haven't met yet, Antonio Fargas, we need to introduce you to our film festival audience. So Kai's going to do that right now.
Okay. I'm Kai's daughter, Madeline again. And so Antonio Fargas, a character of many different generations who started his career by answering an ad in Reader's Digest. He is known by some as Huggy Bear from the 1975 TV show Starsky and Hutch. But as for my generation, you probably recognize him. You probably recognize him from Doc as Everybody Hates Chris. From Doc as Doc in Everybody Hates Chris. Fargas is most known for his role in 1970s blaxploitation films, such as Foxy Brown and Shaft. He also has starred in movies such as Don't Be a Menace, Car Wash, as well as many others. He received his breakout role in the late 60s comedy Putney's Float. After his role in blaxploitation films, Antonio guest starred in mid-90s sitcoms such as Living Single, Martin, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and The Steve Harvey Show. Also having an occurring role as Doc on the 2005-2009 TV series Everybody Hates Chris. Antonio spends time in his community of Las Vegas, Nevada, nurturing and encouraging students in his community, serving as the first brand ambassador for NBC's Cozy TV with a network identity spot featuring Fargas and his swing band, the New Jump Blues. The musical promos feature soundtracks created exclusively for Cozy TV, and Antonio continues working in film, theater, and recording projects. Antonio continues to be a popular icon revered by generations around the world. Thank you.
Antonio, you can hang up here, Kai, in case you have a couple questions of the panel. Antonio, can you give us an idea what it's like to watch a movie as an actor in the movie compared to watching a movie as a spectator?
Boy, I've been both. I think the whole idea of movies when I was young was to escape, and I saw some impactful movies as a youngster, and one of them I recall was Days of Wine and Roses. That had an impact on me, but I used to love to go to movies and watch the westerns and all that on 42nd Street in New York, and just fantasize about that kind of world. And then when I was 14 years old, I had an opportunity. There was a newspaper called the Amsterdam News in New York, and they were advertising about a film that was being cast called The Cool World, which had played for a short time on Broadway with Billy D. Williams as the young star in it. And when I was born, I kind of talk about my life in that when I was born president and CEO of Antonio Fargas Inc. And I had no idea how to run a company. I had no role models in that area. I thought my kind of strange life, in growing up in Chelsea and to a Puerto Rican father and a mother from the Caribbean who happened to be born in Cuba, I thought was normal, and it wasn't anything but normal. And I was considered I was called a lawyer in the family because I could settle people's arguments. I think part of being president and CEO of Antonio Fargas Inc. and living in fear was that I became a people pleaser and a peacemaker and all the things that try to keep people away from me. And then this opportunity when I was 14 years old to be in a film, I found a family and that nurtured me, and I also found a craft where I could get out of self and get into characters, and it was my medicine that I needed because and I learned to do it well. Fear made me the actor that I was, and it's, you know, and it had an important role in overachieving or achieving and having people talk about me as this mercurial kind of guy who, you know, who just had a burning desire, you know, to do characters and urban and street characters and people that I saw in my neighborhoods, and I channeled all that. I was very impressed by the survivors of the characters that I represented. You know, in particular, I did about three gay roles where I played things that I experienced in my life, because I had a brother who was gay and a couple of brothers, and my father couldn't accept that, and so I became passionate about the pain that was involved that I couldn't reconcile. And so when I saw those people who were taking chances, like the street characters that I played in the films, I was able to represent those people, because they were the ones who were trying to survive like I was trying to survive. I think everybody was trying to survive, and their survival skills was to get deep into character so that they could, you know, live, you know. So it's just, and now this is all hindsight is 2020, but so film became, and also theater, you know, because I came up in the time of the Renaissance of black theater in New York, right after the Civil Rights Movement, and you know, I was one of the youngsters who was around when the group theater workshop started. No, not the group theater workshop, but the Negro Ensemble Company. Robert Hooks, who helped start the Negro Ensemble Company, was an actor who came to New York and was doing Dutchman, and he started a group of kids from my neighborhood in Chelsea, and he started, you know, broke down the walls in his loft and was teaching young people, and I was one of those people because I was a veteran actor because I had done one film, The Cool World, and so, and that group theater workshop eventually, you know, morphed into his participation in the founding of the Negro Ensemble Company. And so it was a very historic time to be involved, you know, in this world and in this life, and eventually I knew I would have to do film and more film, and then I got an opportunity, you know, to be in a film called Shaft, and you know, with Isaac Hayes and Richard Roundtree and all of that. And then there was another seminal film that I did, which was Across 110th Street with Yaphet Kotto and Anthony Franciosa and Anthony Quinn. And I played a street character named Henry J. And how that played out, there was a director who directed that was Barry Shear, and he was this maverick kind of guy who did these action movies, and I was just a hungry actor who was like, you know, just doing everything that I could, devouring it, but I knew I had to eventually get to Los Angeles, so somehow I did a play in Los Angeles. I'm gonna give you this, trying to read his digest of this whole deal, but I did a play in Los Angeles, Dream on Monkey Mountain, and that started in Los Angeles and then came back to the Negro Ensemble Company, and we did it there. But Michael Schultz directed that, then he directed me in Car Wash, but while I was doing, when I moved to Los Angeles after I did the play, I heard my agent said that Barry Shear was directing a pilot. I didn't even know what a pilot was, but he said he was directing a pilot, and he recommended me to play this street character called Huggy Bear, and it was supposed to be just a one scene in a movie theater. And I walked in a movie theater such as this, and you know, in undercover, and they were sitting there, and I sat down behind them, gave some information, and I didn't know that was going to be part of a formula that they saw. Aaron Spelling and Leonard Goldberg said that, you know, that I would be part of a formula that turned into, 4 years and sort of, one of the most, building blocks of me being known around the world, because the show was syndicated in over 100 countries and all of that. And the power of television, we're jumping around. Also in the West 110th Street was a gentleman named Dick Ward, who played this gravel voice guy. Hey. Anyway, but Barry Shear recommended me and Dick Ward for the pilot for Starsky and Hutch. But Dick was too strong for the networks. It was Aaron Spelling, and so when it went into series, they replaced him with Bernie Hamilton. But film is so powerful, but television is even more powerful, because I did a film with a guy, with an actor, I won't recall his name, but we took it to Cannes, to the Cannes Film Festival, and we were walking in the street, and everybody was falling all over themselves, even more than, not that falling over themselves, but they recognized me, because Starsky and Hutch played in France, and I was called Huggy Les Bons Tuyaux. Huggy the Tipster. But this guy, who was a movie star in a film called RoboCop, he was really got disjointed about the fact that nobody knew him, and everybody knew me, because of the power of television. You know, I can do a play for 10 years with full audiences and not reach as many people as one day at a syndicated show like the Starsky and Hutch around the world. So, I mean, I just had so many opportunities. Film, the arts means so much to me. They gave me life, and so I, watching myself I wasn't able to watch myself, because I knew that I was struggling with this mask, doing all these characters. So it's very difficult for me to even watch my work until now that I've completed the journey, and I can really appreciate, what you saw and what, how. And so I'm on a journey of saying thank you for all the people who I touched through that television screen and through the theater and through television. I did pretty good. I was really, I learned the craft, and I'm proud of, and I'm proud that I represented these characters that touched my life, that helped me, along the way. We have the saying that I say, I probably needed those characters more than they needed me. And so, anyway, that's a long story, long answer, but that's it.
Yes, so yeah, absolutely. When was the last time you saw yourself as Gullah Jack?
Wow. Long time ago, because I didn't have a copy of it. But I had it on my reel. I was living in Newport, Rhode Island, I think when I did that film, or just before I moved to Newport, Rhode Island, after Starsky and Hutch, I decided to go back east, and that's when I did All My Children, and I believe I did, I met Stan Lathan, who I worked with in a film. I lived in Newport. I worked with Stan Lathan, who directed Denmark, in Boston. And then I got a call through another guy that I knew who knew Stan, and he was doing this project in Charleston, the Denmark Vesey deal. But eventually I had it on my reel. So, and this scene here, I remember the lines. Some lines that you never forget. But I hadn't seen it in a long time. But and I'm delighted to be able to sit here and watch it. It was a phenomenal cast. We had a great time, and Cleavon Little and Yafet and William Wyndham, and I even think Ned Beatty was in it. I mean, and I did Amen Corner. No, I did Jack Johnson play The Great White Hope with Ned Beatty. We did it in Washington, then we took it to Broadway. So lives keep crossing, because it's a small community. The theater and the film community is a small community. And so I creating these relationships that sort of got buttoned in in Denmark, Vesey, and that character was kind of like, he was a strange cat. And so I love that. And the fact that, you know, to have this Gullah was a lot like how those people, the Gullah people, was sort of like this isolated community of people who had real strong ties to their African roots, and even, you know, so they even talked Geechee and had this accent. And so I studied it, and also I was channeling my grandmother, because anytime I did a role, I was sort of, she was West Indian, and so it was just kind of a moving. I have a good ear, so anything I hear I can mimic. So I was able to, you know, have some fun with Gullah Jack, and I'm looking forward to seeing it tonight.
You couldn't do a line now for us, could you?
Y'all know me, Gullah Jack. I there when your baby born. See things done proper. But the doctor say, well, something like that.
Hey,
But let's see if now I have to see if, you know, you can judge that.
Paul and Shep, how did you discover
Little sample there. He got Denmark's name when they went.